Hey guys, sorry about the microphone quality. It is a bit ordinary, but it is what I have at the moment. My other headset's not working at the moment, so this is just a cheapo headset. So if it sounds a bit crackly, I mean I've got a fan in the background. It is hot, so sorry about that. But we'll just try and see what we get. Just so you know, this is a subscription-based game. You buy subscriptions monthly, quarterly, half yearly, yearly, whatever. You can buy an unlimited subscription. As you can see at the moment, this is actually one that I purchased. Basically a deal over Christmas. It's 149 euros, which they say is 50% off, but it is completely unlimited. Normally, if you buy a 3-month subscription, you buy a package and you buy the on-road package, or you buy it all as the off-road package. The last subscription I had was 3 months, and I purchased that. That included the off-road short course stuff, but if you wanted to buy new chassis, new bodies, electronic speed controllers, motors, everything you buy basically has a real-world price attached to it. You can buy stuff by earning credits or virtual euros through the system, but you're going to be grinding or playing it for a little while anyway, just to afford all that sort of stuff. So it's one of those things where maybe you want to buy a shorter subscription just to see if it's something you're really into, or just buy the sorry, not buy, but download the free-to-play one. I'm not sure how long that lasts. That's something I'll have to go on to the VRC Pro website, check it out, see if it's for you, and give it a go. Like I said, I actually purchased the full unlimited subscription, so with that one there, you see there's only 100 left. Started out with I think 1,000, but let's pull this up more. We don't do that right now. I might cut my video out. But it started out with 1,000 available. They're now saying it was less than 100, but it was 149 euros, and that includes all your tracks, all your cars, all your classes, all motors, accessories. So your accessories is your extra things like bodies, your little. What am I doing here? Nope, go back. Here we go back. Escape, that'll work. Just all your little knickknacks. You don't need a lot of the accessories. It's just things like screwdrivers that sit in your pits, fuels, bags, stuff like that. Basically, pit mat, setup boards, stuff like that. It's just basically to make your pit table look good. You don't need it. It's just there, I suppose, because a lot of people like that sort of stuff. That's all that stuff is included in the unlimited subscription. Otherwise, it's normally 1 or 2 euros to buy separately, sometimes even a bit more. So by the time you start adding all that sort of stuff in, it starts getting really expensive, and that's not even the meat of the game. That doesn't include your tracks, that doesn't include your car chassis, and all that sort of good stuff that you actually do want. So the unlimited stuff actually is really good value if you're going to use it a lot, because like I said, it's 149 euros. In Australia, I think that was about $220 Australian. So it's not cheap. It is a hobbyist sort of product. It's not, you use put it this way. If you play video games, you walk into a store and you pay 70, $80 for a game, but a lot of people still wait for it to drop down, say 49 or less. So when you're talking about buying a video game and you're saying, oh yeah, it's going to cost you $220, yeah, that's a big sort of proposition to get into. But they do update it all the time. This is actually a new class. It is the 1.8 buggy. I think it's only been up for a couple of weeks, I believe. It hasn't actually been up very long. New tracks as well. Last time I played this, I'd only just released short course trucks. So it's one of those things where if you buy the unlimited subscription, you don't need to buy a subscription again. You don't need to buy a quarterly or a half yearly or a yearly subscription every update they do. So let's say they introduce in 6 months to a year's time a tri-gear class, or they introduce 110 110 electric off-road buggies and stuff like that, then you're going to get that update for free. So that's always good. But we'll just go over this real quickly, have a quick look around. So that's your car. Basically, this is sort of, it says Kyosho on it, but it's actually a generic car. It's I think they call it the Intercept. I think is sort of like a VRC's sort of home brand thing. There's not a lot of branded cars on here at the moment. There's a couple, and I'll show you those in a second. But you know, everything here is, you can have a look around, pit bench, anything that sort of highlights. Look, yeah, cool, 3mm driver. It's got to do nothing for me in the game, but again, this is the sort of stuff that, funnily enough, you still have to pay for. Same with your pit bag and everything else. You know, I don't know. Like I said, it's just one of those things. I suppose some people want them to have a look at. I suppose. I mean, I don't even know what this is. What the hell is this? Okay, this is a shock rebuilding set. But ignoring that, let's get to the actual core game. We'll go through the options first, just so I can show you guys. Graphic settings, as you can see, I've pretty much maxed everything out. I am running a Core i7-920. It's a 2.6 GHz processor, but it's overclocked at 3.8, 6 GB RAM, GTX 670 by NVIDIA. So it's not the most top of the line PC, but it's not a slouch either. I'm getting constant 60 frames a second. It's not the most graphically intensive game, but as far as RC sims go, which is, there's virtually none, this is it. You know, it looks good for what it is. For such a niche product, it's not, I mean, you haven't exactly got big studios working on this sort of stuff, so they've done alright there. Sound options, of course, it's fairly generic stuff. You can have, I don't know, where is it? Probably not in there. Advanced sound options. You can have your own external music, so if you're playing music in the background, you have that playing over top if you want. Yeah, not a big deal. If you've been racing before, you'll be used to hearing the announcer. Basically sounds like that Windows 7 male or female voice over that comes up. Sounds a little bit broken up. But you know, if you, like I said, if you've raced, you'll be used to the software that they use and the announcer that comes over that. Control options. Okay, EP2 initial. I couldn't tell you what that is, actually. I've never seen that before. But we're not going to use that. Virtual RC USB. Alright, so first off, you got mouse and keyboard set up. But pretty straightforward. Up and down, left and right keys on your keyboard. Don't really recommend using it. If you don't have the USB dongle and a spare transmitter, then obviously that's going to be a little bit of a problem. Mouse and keyboard, I don't really like I said, I don't recommend using it. If you just want to see if the game runs in your system, you want to have a play around, see what's in the game, you know, it'll do. But as far as the driving is concerned, the mouse and keyboard is going to be completely useless to you. The steering is slow and sluggish. It's a real challenge to get around the track. Oh, sorry, my transmitter is going off the background there because it's been sitting there for 10 minutes idle. You can use, and I don't have it plugged in at the moment, which is why you're not seeing the option for it. You can use an Xbox 360 controller, so, or any generic gamepad for a PC. That works okay. I've played it with that before. It's not bad. It's definitely playable. It's obviously not the best solution. Your best solution is to get a USB dongle, and I can't show you that now because it's on obviously plugged in and I'm not using a camera, I'm using a screen catcher. But it's just a little orange dongle. You plug it into a USB port on your PC. Then you've got your ESC looking leads that come off of that, same as in your car. Plug them into a spare receiver of yours and just bind that up to your transmitter. So I'm using a Futaba 4PKS, so I've got my Futaba, what is it, the the R614FF fast receiver plugged into my USB dongle, and my transmitter just pairs to that, and there you go. Then you can use your actual transmitter with that. It's compatible with all transmitters and receivers. So if you've got a transmitter you're not using, or if there's a car you're not using a lot, just take the transmitter out of that, plug it into the dongle, and use the compatible transmitter. Then you've got, of course, obviously being for turbo, I've had to reverse everything, but you've got steering expo, throttle expos, everything that you can put through that. That's just so you can see. I'll just turn my transmitter back on. So as you can see, I need to reset my endpoints. Anyway, yep, so as you can see, that's not great. It's not getting the full throw. I'll have to look at that in a second. Probably why I'm not getting quite as much steering as I was hoping for recently, but we'll go back and we'll look at that later. Alright, so camera options. You can do a little bit of adjustment on how you view the track. You can do it while you're racing as well with the plus and minus buttons, but you'll see how all that sort of works in a second. Race options, of course, all usual stuff. You can change the weather. This is going to be probably fairly important if you're using a lot of nitro classes. It will change the tunes on your car. So yeah, even though this is a PC game, you do have to actually tune your nitros. Not a problem for the electric guys, but obviously if you're into your nitros and stuff like that, there is options I'll show you in a second on car setup to change configuration on your vehicles. On your vehicle's motor, I should say. Other game options, show achievements, etc, etc. Just not too fussed on that right now. Let's just pop up notifications. Okay. Alright, well, let's have a look at the tracks first. These are the current tracks. Restrictions, you can search by on-road, you can search by, you can pick a car and, use, it'll show you what's compatible. So I'm using a 1.8 buggy, so the RC Excitement track, 2013, the 2012 track, the Reinhard Main, the VRC Bash Pit, which is basically just sort of a it's just I suppose a lot with a couple of jumps and stuff in it for a bit of practice. You've got a couple of big tracks in here, hobby store tracks. These are all real tracks, it's worth noting. These aren't just sort of made up stuff. The Bash Pits obviously are, but this is the Buenos Aires, Buenos Aires track. It is an international class track where they have held a lot of tournaments. IBR Padova, Nitro Blast 12, that was actually pretty cool. That's actually a track I'm on at the moment. Silver Dollar, they recently did the 110 scale, I think, World Championships this year. So if you watch, I think Live RC covered that. So if you watch that, you would have seen this track. So there's a couple of tracks there. So if I filter that by, let's go off-road, it's just basically gonna grey out all your on-road tracks. It's, even though they're greyed out, it's still a little bit hard to see that, what has actually been brought forward, what hasn't been. But there's a few tracks here. You can see my funds actually read 0 because I'm on an unlimited sub, so I don't need to buy anything, so it just doesn't give me any view of what I actually have there. So you can pretty much ignore that. But if you're on a subscription that's not unlimited, then you can accrue funds by competing in races. The longer you have the game, the longer you're subscribed for, that goes up. And you can use that to buy extra parts and components for the cars, etc. But let's go to the Rhine Main. I quite like this track. This is listed as my favourite track. It's all, you do have to be connected to the internet because it all goes through their servers. So we'll just wait for this to load up. I think this was one of the first tracks I raced quite a while ago. So, alright. So got that 1.8 buggy there, but let's go change car and let's set up a different one. What am I looking for? So car setup. So this is your car setup room. So let's say we're going to pick a chassis. Now these are your brands currently in the game. It's worth noting that just because the brand is up there doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to have an off-road car for this track. It just lists all the cars. So go to X-Ray. These are all your on-road cars. So you know this is your 110 touring car, 112 touring car, pan car, touring car, pan car. I don't know about that one. I don't do a lot of on-road. Tamiya only really have their 110, 110 touring. Same with Serpent, 1.8 and 110 touring. Kyosho, same sort of story. Hot Bodies, same thing. Team Associated have their short course truck in here. And Intercept, like I said, it's sort of like the VRC's home brand, but I don't believe they exist in real life. It's just for the game. And they currently have the only 1.8 buggy class, and it is Nitro. I myself race electric, so it's taken a little bit to get used to the power band on that one because it's not what I'm used to. But four-wheel drive short course truck, which is, as you can see, it's pretty much just a Team Associated. I'm hoping at some point more brands get on board. In fact, I think there's probably a couple more brands here than last time I had a subscription for this. In real life, I race a Mugen MBX6 Eco buggy and the Mugen MBX6 TR converted to electric truggy. So I'm a Mugen driver, not sponsored or anything. I just happen to Mugen happens to be very available where I am, and I've driven a couple of different cars and it really suits me. So I'd like to see more cars come in. That'd be great, but for the moment, you know, this'll do. For what it is. So that's the factory kit for Team Associated, and you've got your standard kit. Let's just, for the sake of argument, I don't know, we'll go 1.8 buggy because that's sort of new. Alright, so 1.8 buggy. Now, when you first get the game, like I said, a lot of this stuff you have to buy separately. Well, the motor you don't. Actually, it's probably not a good idea to do that because that's all the stuff that comes with it. But we'll go to this just so I can show you guys what is available. Obviously don't have an engine and exhaust for this one, so we got motor. A couple of brands in there. You got Thunder Power, you got Tekin, you got Reedy. Do these make any difference in the game? I don't know. I honestly don't. I've got a Tekin Pro 4 4600 in my short course in real life, so you know I just happen to pick that. Speed controller again. Different brands that you can whack in there. Let's go on RX Agent 2. It's worth noting that all the stuff I'm putting in there at the moment, those Tekin and everything else like that, if you don't have the unlimited subscription, this is all pay stuff. Does cost you a couple of dollars. Again, I don't know whether that makes any real difference in the performance of the cars on the track, but you know, I'm sure there are plenty of people out there that will buy something even if it makes no difference just because it's the same brand they run down the track. Battery, again, I'm not sure, but even though, you know, it does have your C ratings on the batteries, whether it makes any difference, I don't know. Celltech, I believe, is VRC's sort of generic stuff. You don't have to buy the generic stuff from VRC. So if it's a VRC branded thing, you don't have to worry about paying for it. It's actually included to get you up and running. It's only when you want to buy things like Gens Ace, Tekin, Reedy, Speed Passion, all that sort of stuff would normally be a pay product. Your battery ratings do make a difference though, so that's worth noting. So if you want to go out there and race, or you're practicing, you know, the bigger the battery, the longer it's going to last. For the moment, I'm gonna go with the Thunder Power 6500. Oh, it's the 6000. Hang on, oh, maybe we won't go with that one. What have we got? 7000 60C. Yep. Let's pick a Reedy. Oh, good enough. Tires. So again, Proline sticks tires. Sticks tires. I think it's a generic one. Eh, let's pick some Proline. Basically, these are all of course the actual products you can buy. Let's just go with that. Don't mind that. Tire compounds. Again, 6 tires. As you can see, this is generic stuff, so you wouldn't have to pay for that in the game. But if you want the Proline stuff, then you do pay for it. This is a fairly loose track, so something that's got blockade. Actually, the blockade shouldn't be too bad. We'll just leave them on. Transponder, I have no idea why we need that, but because it's not like you get a choice. Bodies, again, so there's your standard body, 2 configurations. Otherwise, you've got your associated bodies. Proline, you got your Flotex. Let's pick let's go for a Flowtech. You can't do custom paint jobs, but you can sort of change color schemes. So, let's pick that. Body decals, whatever you want. Yeah, just going to change the number. Wheels, so paint the wheels if you want. Yeah, match it up with green. Not really much of a match, is it? What have we got? Silver. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, so we've basically picked the vehicle setup sheet. As you can see, you can pretty much, if you can adjust it on the real car, you can adjust it in here. So this can be a little bit intimidating if you've never set a car up before. Personally, even when I race, I don't even really make any adjustments to the car when I race down at my local club. Just tyres, and I just learn to drive it from there. I don't make any huge changes unless someone else has a similar vehicle and they've done something that they seems to work for them. I might give it a go, but I'm not hardcore enough into the racing side of things to really know exactly what I'm doing. I know the theory behind it, but usually I find straight out of the box that most cars are pretty good. But yeah, so you've got changes here. You can change pretty much everything: all your suspension, all your droop settings, shocks, springs, roll bars, differentials, differential fluids, ESC settings like your punch and all that. I mean, this is supposed to be an out-and-out sim for guys that race RC cars. So if you can change it in the real world, you can change it in here. You can also take a screenshot, upload it to the forums, or send it to your mates, whatever. And so you can share settings on those cars. So we'll just get out of that. We'll leave that as it is. So we don't need to save it. We'll just leave it as is. Also, there's custom ones that are already done up for you. We'll just leave that though. Let's go back to the pit table. Alright, so practice, pretty much exactly what it is. You go out on the track by yourself, run a few laps, give it a go. Then your time trials, events. Now these are events that are actually put on by the guys at VRC. So as you can see, there's actually semi-finals currently going. Runs, no qualifiers, official events only. Sort by raceable. There's not much happening at the moment. It is Christmas, so there's not too much going on. These are all ranked, by the way. You do actually get rankings, and they do go on leaderboards on the official site. So it's worth checking out. Then you get your multiplayer. You can play with friends, or you can start a lobby, join a lobby. Fairly standard stuff if you've actually played any games online, really, any game consoles, or on your PC if you've played multiplayer before. But let's go in. I did note before, like I said, in the options, in the controls, I wasn't getting the full throw from my radio. Let's have a look. Why was I not? I don't know. I'll have to check that out. I'll have to check that. Customize maybe. Virtual USB. Nope. That's just going to bring up a different dialog box. I might have to, might leave that. I'll come back and I'll find out later why it's doing that. For the moment, let's just go to practice and I'll just deal with whatever the current settings are. So, as you can see, you're in pit lane is where you start out.
Welcome to this track. Enjoy your racing.
Sorry, I'm just going to let him do his thing. Alright, so while you're at here, you can still make changes to the car. So you can change your gearing, it's your motor temperature, it's your battery. It does, of course, take a couple of seconds. So if you want to change your gearing, let's say put up to a 14 tooth because we're an idiot, change gearing, takes a couple of seconds, and now you can go back out. Differentials, of course, so you can change all your diff settings. When you go into nitro cars, you can obviously do your nitro motor tuning and everything from here. For the moment, off we go. Do I have? Yep, I got reverse enabled. It's probably cheating, but whatever. You're not supposed to have reverse enabled, but stuff it. Steering angle. This is something that's interesting. This is your maximum steering angle. So this is basically like setting the endpoint. So if you put it up to 41 at full lock, you're going to get more steering. If you put it right back down, you're not going to get as much steering. Obviously, the higher the angle, the more turn you're going to get, but you're going to risk oversteer. Put it too low, you're not going to get around the turn, but it's going to be a little bit more stable. But that sort of thing you want to play with later. So I'm just going to go out here on a track. So it's worth noting. So I'm using my Futaba at the moment. Got a couple of different views you can use. It's mostly fairly static because of course that's how it is in real life. You can zoom in, zoom out. Obviously you get, this is your peripheral view here is huge, but probably not best for racing. You can actually change also different, what have I done? Change view there. I've actually pressed yeah, okay, I'm going to use that. I've actually, what have I done here? I've gone back to that. Alright, so I'll just give this a go. It's an electric, of course, so there's not going to be a lot of sound going here. But if you just sort of watch the way the cars drive, and I've gone off the track because I'm awesome. Press spacebar, will put you back on the track. So, done this track a couple of times. I'm still getting the hang of this, but like I said, I'm not getting full throttle or full lock on my turns at the moment. But it's as you can see, the car's handling all right actually, considering. I'm off the track again. But yeah, I've got to go see why I'm not getting full throttle or full steer lock. It's a bit odd. As you can see, I'm barely doing any. Sorry, I was actually watching my speedo then, not the track. Hang on, how do we get back to TV cam? Nope. Actually, that's I think what we're looking for. So I've changed my view. I've never usually. I'm still obviously I myself am still sort of playing.
118.47 seconds.
Change view F2 model zoom. I've hit a button there and nope, I don't want to record that. What am I doing? Nope, stop that. Yeah, I don't know what I've changed, but oh well, I'll just race from this view for the moment. I'll try and fix the view up and do it again later. But the cars themselves, they handle, fairly close to the real thing. So if you're in the air, well, the short course trucks, it's probably not as noticeable. But you do have in-air control, so if you were to get up in the air, hit the brake, you can bring the nose down. It's not really going to happen too much with short course trucks because they do have small wheels. They tend to not be too adjustable in the air. But on the buggies, it's makes a big difference. I mean, look at how slow this thing is going at the moment without that. Not getting full throttle. It's labouring a little bit. So normally you can make that a triple, but it's not really going to do it on that amount of throttle. Same with that. I mean, you'll clear that in one hit. But having it all dialed down a little bit is actually making it pretty easy to drive. It is worth noting, I think it's easier to drive in real life than it is in this game. There's something, I don't know what it is. Maybe, I mean, this is the first time I've really sat down and had a proper go of it. Yeah, particularly the buggies. I don't know whether the buggies are just not set up right at the moment. But yeah, I was having a lot of problems with the buggies. Just driving them, I found it easy to drive my car in real life, but whatever reason that is, I'll work that out later. It could just be the settings set up on the buggy I had, but I mean, changing your setup does make a big difference. It is worth definitely learning that and seeing how you go. So you see, this is fairly going alright, really, considering I'm not the best, but I'll just give it a quick go. Yeah, that was pretty ordinary. So I might do one lap, one more lap. Do one more lap, and then I'll get onto a buggy. So, but yeah, like I said, this is designed. It is a niche product. It is designed specifically for guys that are really into the RC hobby. It's a big investment. Like I said, if you buy the unlimited subscription, it is very expensive, but you're sort of set for life on that. If you want to buy it as the basic sort of subscription, say 3 months or whatever, and then buy the components and tracks and that whatnot that you want, it can get really expensive.
54 seconds.
Can get very expensive very quickly. Yeah, let's leave the track. So that was that. Let's go to, I'll show you another track. What have we got? Let's go to RC Excitement 2012. I don't think I've raced on that one yet. But like I said, there's a couple of tracks I haven't raced on here yet. Actually, this one was getting the better of me earlier. I was making a right fool of myself. Nitro Blast is actually, no, I've got a Nitro Blast because I was playing that earlier with the 1.8 buggies. This is actually pretty cool. I don't think I've actually seen this truck in real life. I'm in Australia, of course, so I haven't visited any of these trucks in real life. But I usually see them on TV and whatnot. Not TV, but on YouTube with live RC. Car setup. Let's change. Go to buggy. Okay. There was a predefined. This David Ronifolk found that to be the most balanced setup for this buggy. I haven't really tried changing too much for it, to be honest. Like I said, it's the first day I've really sat here and played it. When I had my 3-month subscription, I was working a lot, so I didn't get a great deal much time to do much. So far as getting into the game is concerned. So actually, I'm not the biggest fan of that paint job, to be honest. I quite like this one. Pick that one there. Mugen. It's got Mugen stickers, even though Mugen vehicles aren't in here, unfortunately. Oop, pink wheels. That's a bit out there. We'll go green. There we go. Fit the body. Yeah, Mugen. Wing colour. We'll leave in black. Whatever. Go back to our pit table. Alrighty. So this is select track. No, practice. As you can see, okay, just wait for that
Welcome
to
to this
start.
track.
I'll wait for
Enjoy
the
the
announcer.
racing.
Alright, so as you can see, carb settings, you can change your carb settings, clutch settings, diff oils, roll bars. This can all be done from the track as well. I'm no good with tuning nitros. I race all EP. Closest I got to a nitro is a fifth scale with a two-stroke engine, and I'm not even very good at tuning that. And they're not nearly as picky as the nitro motors, so I'm not too fussed about that. But anyway, let's. Well, yeah, you can see because I'm not getting full throw on my throttle. That's just that's not going to work. Getting half throttle there, but we'll do a lap with it wringing its guts out at 28. Yeah, that's normally a triple. Normally, when the car's got a bit of power behind it. I'm finding this is understeering a little bit at the moment, this buggy. Oh god, no, I don't think I can do a full lap. I can't even make the double there. Actually, I'm not even going to get over that. So yeah, I'm going to have to go back and calibrate my transmitter again. It's the first time I've done that. Anyway, so that's a quick overview anyway. Just, I mean, there's a lot more to it. There's all the on-road stuff. I just wanted to give some guys out there a quick look of what this is, just so they have some idea of what VRC Pro is, because like I said, it's if you're really into your RC car stuff, then this is pretty much the best sim that you're going to get for RC cars. But being such a niche product and being something that it is constantly worked on, you know, they need the funds to keep it going, so everything is subscription based, and it is worth it, but you have to decide whether the value is there for you personally, because as I said, it is expensive. For the price of it, you know, you could go out and buy a two-wheel drive short course truck for the cost of this game, really. So it's not going to be for everyone in terms of cost, but if you can afford it, if the best thing you do, go on to the site. It's vrcworld.com, I believe. Download a free copy of it. Check out what it's like. Like I said, if you're using a mouse and keyboard, it doesn't really work. You really need to at least give it a go with a gamepad at minimum. But to give it a fair go, you really need to get your transmitter hooked up to it. So yeah, that's just a quick look. I'll go upload this. I'll go back, have a look at my transmitter setting, find out why that was only getting 50% steering and throttle. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. Just a quick overview, and we'll hopefully see some people online. Alright, thanks lads. Cheers.